Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about self-harm. I've asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and I'm going to be answering them. Okay, so the first question is, when did you start self-harming? I started self-harming when I was about 14-15 years old. What made you want to do it? I didn't want to do it. It more felt like something I had to do. I didn't have anyone in my near surroundings who self-harmed, so I didn't see it from anyone. I thought I saw something on television about someone who self-harmed and I felt so bad about myself that I thought maybe this is a way to express my emotions. Why do you do it? There are several reasons why I self-harm. The first reason is to feel something, to physically feel something. I often feel like I'm numb and I don't feel anything. So by self-harming, I have a way to literally feel my body. But it's also a way to feel nothing. It's a way to feel nothing in my head, not to feel any emotions, not to feel any thoughts. It's just, then I turn numb. Something that I wanted to avoid earlier by feeling myself. It is also a way to feel numb and not feel anything at all. Another reason is to punish myself. I often feel so angry with myself that I want to punish myself by self-harming. And eventually it became a habit, it became an addiction. I just felt like I had to do it. Whenever I felt bad, I knew I had to do it just to feel a little bit better. What does it bring you? It brings me rest. That's mostly the thing that it brings me. It brings me rest, just a little bit of peace. I often feel way more stressed, way less stressed than I did when I started self-harming. So it really brings me some rest. What's going through your mind when you do it? Most of the time, there isn't anything going through my mind. There is just the one thing that's going through my mind is I have to do it. I have to self-harm. I have to punish myself. I have to feel something. I have to feel nothing. It's not, there aren't specific thoughts going through my mind, just that I have to do it. How do you feel after doing it? Do you feel any regret? Yes, I definitely feel regret. Mostly the instant second after I've done it, I feel regret. That's the first thing that I feel, regret. I also often feel angry at myself. It brings me, like I just said, it brings me some rest, but at the same time I'm extremely angry with myself. Did it hurt less when you did it because you felt so bad? Yes, I often don't even feel it. So I feel pain, I do, but I don't really feel it. It's something that happens so fast that I don't even know that I'm doing it. I just, I barely feel it. Do you think you have a higher pain range than other people? Yes, I do. I do think I have a higher pain range. I often hear from people that I have a higher pain range, that I can easily take pain. So yes, I definitely think so. Did you ever thought you could just stop doing it? Yes. When I started self-harming, I just thought it is something temporary and I can just stop at any moment. I never realized it became an addiction, something that I had to do every time that I longed for. I never thought it would become such a big thing in my life, and I never thought that I would be doing it for years and years. I just always thought it was something temporary and that I could just stop at any moment. How did your parents react when they found out? My parents reacted shocked. They, in my experience, reacted mad as well. They probably felt really hopeless and had no idea what to do. But to me, it felt like they were really, really mad at me. And that made me feel even worse about myself. I often became mad at myself, like I just told you that I became mad at myself after I did it. So them being mad at me, or at least that's how I experienced it, it made me feel even worse about myself. What's a good alternative for you? it's really hard to find a good alternative. But the thing I do mostly is just postpone it. I keep on postponing that I want to self-harm. I tell myself I can do it tomorrow, I can do it the day after, I can do it next week. I can always do it again, but just not now. That's not really an alternative, but it really helps me to not harm myself. A good alternative for me is writing down. I just write down my feelings and try to express it in a different way. I talk about it with people, which really helps, and sometimes, because it happens, most of the times it happens when I'm angry, because I want to punish myself. I feel like I did something wrong. The most of the time I feel anger, and a way to express anger is just, for me, by throwing pillows. Like the pillows behind me, I often throw them, or I just punch in them. What makes it hard for you to stay clean for a long amount of time, and when do you relapse? The thing that makes it most difficult is that it really became an addiction. Every time that I feel bad, I automatically go to self-harm. It's just, for me, it's my way to express with emotions. It's my way to deal with things. So it's really that it's an addiction. And people don't often talk about self-harm as an addiction, but I really, really think that it is some form of an addiction. So that's what makes it really hard to stay clean. And the reason that I relapse is mostly because emotions are getting too high. I can't find a healthy way to deal with my emotions, so that often leads in self-harm. What was your reason to quit self-harm? My reason to quit self-harm was really because I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to ruin my body anymore. Before, it were also always for other people. I didn't want to cut myself for my family and for my friends and for a band that I loved. I just felt like there were these outside people that I could do it for them. But the really reason why I stopped is because I did it for myself. And that's the only true reason how you can stop, I believe, is by doing it for yourself. So I just really didn't want to do it. I didn't want to ruin my body anymore. How do you make sure your scars aren't turning purple? That's a difficult question because everybody is different and every person reacts to scars in a different way. My scars aren't often purple. They're only purple when I'm cold or when I'm really, really hot. So when I'm taking a shower or something. So that's the only way or the only time that they are purple. But there's really nothing you can do about it. It's just time and sun. Sun can help. But like my next question is, how do you go in the sun with scars? How do you take care of them? By putting a lot of sunscreen on them because they burn very, very easily. And it helps by the process of healing because eventually your scars at the beginning, they're red and sometimes purple. And when they start healing, they turn more white. And the sun is a way to help them heal faster. But you have to be really, really careful because they can really easily burn because the skin is really, really thin. What did you use to self-harm? I mostly used razor blades. How long are you clean of self-harm? I'm clean since May 8th of this year, 2019. Are you scared to show them in public? Yes, I'm terrified. The first years of my life, I never showed my scars to anyone. I just walked around in long sleeves and long pants the entire summer. It was bloody hot, but I was so ashamed that I didn't dare to show my scars to anyone. Right now I'm in a process of trying to show my scars more, to not be ashamed of them, because I have to realize and I have to accept that they are a part of me. They are a part of who I am. They are a part of my past, and I have to deal with them and learn to show them to other people and not care about what they think. How do you want people to react to your scars? Do you prefer it if they ask questions? Yes, I prefer if they ask questions, because often I get those glazes from people that they just constantly stare at me, and they stare at me and I can hear them think. I can hear them think she's crazy, she's a freak, she's, I don't know, all these negative thoughts about myself. And when people ask questions, that's a sign of interest. It's a sign of caring, maybe. So I really prefer if people ask questions about it. I find it hard when they ask questions, but I do prefer it. I'd rather have them ask questions than constantly stare at me and judge me. At least that's how I feel. So these are the questions that I got. I do want to say that all these things that I told you are just my experience. It can be different for anyone else. So I just want to say that this is my experience and how I experience it, but it can be different for anyone. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!